Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
It's an unhappy Devils Tuesday. This is Devils After Dark. Coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios inside the bunker in an undisclosed location in dreadful New Jersey. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, and Twitch. On the Let's Go Devils Network as the Devils 2023-24 ship is sinking fast. I'm your host, Sam Woo. Scotty won't be able to come on right away because he's trying to gather his thoughts after the collapse in the third period against the Pittsburgh Penguins. 5 unanswered goals by the Penguins as the Devils lose 6-3 in a Metropolitan Division rival game, looking for points to head into the playoffs. You had a 3-1 lead. Jesper Bratt with a penalty, and boom, 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 boom. Pittsburgh wins the game. And we have a lot to talk about tonight. As I'm flying solo for a bit, Scotty is trying to gather his thoughts in the Michael J. Fox Studios in Beverly Hills, California, before he comes on. It's going to be a different format of your normal Devils After Dark podcasts. We're going to get your thoughts as well in the YouTube Live, Facebook Live, X Live, and Twitch. But this is an absolute joke. This, I am going to call out everybody. First off, I said in the last time when the Devils lost to the Sabres last Friday night, fire everybody. And I'm normally not calling for one's jobs, but the coaching staff, gone. Get them out. I don't want you anymore. We don't want you anymore. The culture needs to change. You're less than a year removed from making the playoffs, a record-setting season. It's the defense, stupid. It's the lack of attention to details. It's the lack of urgency. There is no heart in this team. They are a bunch of softies, these New Jersey Devils. Changes need to be made. This is unacceptable. Jason McCloskey in the Facebook Live said, let down again. No heart, no leadership, no coaching. Please, no playoffs. Forget about the math. Forget about the mathematical possibilities of the New Jersey Devils making the playoffs. Because technically they're still in it. But to be honest with you, they've checked out. How can you have a 3-1 lead, control the game against the Pittsburgh Penguins, a 2-0 lead against Buffalo the game before. Playoff implications. You're getting all the help from the other teams losing. It was set up by the hockey gods or whatever for you to have a path to go into the Stanley Cup playoffs. But what do the New Jersey Devils do? They blow it. And they blow it again. You fired the coach, Lindy Ruff. You're replacing it with Travis Green. I don't see any improvement. It's more than just the coach. It's more than just goaltending. You don't need analytics to tell me that this team sucks. Because they do. But the amount of potential they have on paper, the amount of promise from last season, it's deja vu all over again from the Harris Blitz Sports Entertainment that 2018 and 2023 was fool's gold. A way to make you Devils fans buy more tickets, spend more money. The arena was sold out for most nights. And this is what you get, Devils fans. You raise the season ticket prices by double-digit percentages, expecting fans to actually buy into this crap. Unacceptable. And I mean that. I mean that. Some of the players have played well, but they haven't played as a team. They haven't executed. And it's time for changes to be made. There are a lot of changes that are going to be needed. It's an absolute joke. And for tomorrow, against the New York Rangers, Rempe versus McDermott. I don't even care at this point. You know what? I won't even mind if Rempe kicked everybody's asses because this team didn't show up in the third period. How do you let down and fold so quickly in the third period with 5 unanswered goals by the Penguins? It's because you're not very good. Good teams find a way. The Penguins, I thought they were dominated by the Devils' first 2 periods. And all it took was one lousy penalty by Jesper Bratt, and it just unraveled. Just like that. Oh. And this team. And I agree with you, Denny, in the Facebook Live. Weak team, Fitzy, and ownership, the problem. Oh, it starts from the top. It starts from Harris Blitzer Sports Entertainment. Any team they buy, they don't win. And when they do win, they just disappoint you in the end. These are money-making machines that they bought. They're not interested in winning because if they were, this team would be winning. But I've grown impatient. Last season was great. But last season means nothing because they followed up with the dud this season. Turnovers. Undisciplined plays. Being so soft. They're so passive out there. They're not dictating the play out on the ice, and they literally gave this game to the Pittsburgh Penguins 2 solid points at the Rock in front of the fans pathetic. Michael Descala, blind passes. Yeah. Blind passes. Yeah. I mean, I'm so sick of those drop passes on the power play. It's just never been my cup of tea. The analytics team for the New Jersey Devils, the scouting, fire them all. I'm done. I am so done with this team. Every night we have witnessed the potential. There have been exciting moments. Timo Meier still red hot. John Marino had 2 assists tonight. Thinking, okay, the month of April. April Fool's Day was yesterday, folks. But this is bad. Really bad. Jennifer Lynn says, when the score was tied 3-3 and they couldn't score on the power play, that was the point they blew it. Absolutely. Because that's when it snowballed. Because the Jesper Bratt penalty, okay, all right, whatever. It's one of those things. But they let it get out of control. You got to stop the bleeding at that point. But the Pittsburgh Penguins, I mean, I don't think they did anything special other than put the puck on net and showed up, the Penguins. And they watched the Devils collapse. Again, they watched the Devils just absolutely collapse. They folded. They were a paper tiger. They just sucked. And they had no response, no punch, no pride, and they let this game get out of hand. And there should be no excuses for this. I don't want to hear anything about a young team, a young defense, injuries, blah, 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 blah. We've seen this script over and over and over again this past season. Maybe not the previous season, but in the past. And it's time to think. And Tom Fitzgerald, the honeymoon is over, folks, for Tom Fitzgerald. You are now on the hot seat right now. Your DNA, your fingerprints are all over this team. You should be held accountable, and I'm sure you would agree, Fitzy. But this has got to change. The core pillars of the team, those long-term contracts that were given out, should be re-examined. I think every player should be held accountable. Every player. And nobody is untouchable on your New Jersey Devils. Trades need to happen. Coaches need to be hired. Is the answer in the room? I don't think so. They've been given so many chances. But it's honestly, the word I'm seeing from all you fans chiming in is disgusting. It is. It's hard to swallow this loss because you had it. Same with Buffalo. Just imagine, we would have a different conversation right now if the Devils executed, played tough, played with a lot of grit and pizzazz and energy. In Buffalo and Pittsburgh, you should have had 4 solid points. The Devils should have 80 points right now before going to Madison Square Garden to face off against the New York Rangers. Even if you beat the Rangers tomorrow, the trust has been broken between the team, the organization, and the fans because it's going to be deja vu all over again. They will tease you, and you're starting to feel good, and then, boom, reality hits. They suck. And that's how I feel. I'm sure a lot of you feel that way. Ramona is asking, where was Jack's line? Mr. Turnover himself, Jack Hughes. You need to play better. Well, what does that mean? You got to make simple plays. You have to be consistent. You got to put the puck on net. You got to get in the goalie's face. You got to defend your zone. You got to chip the puck out of the zone. Make high percentage plays. Keep it simple. Be smart with the puck. And that's not what's happening right now. There was this one instance where Palat had the puck. You got a clean lane, a clear path to shoot the puck on a 2-on-1. Instead, you pass it, but of course it doesn't get there because the team read it beautifully, the Pittsburgh Penguins. Val says, and fire Fitzgerald. I say fire everybody. Like, I am so sick of all this. I forget it. I want to fire the owner. Sell the team, please. Sell the team. You've had this team for 10 years, 10 plus years. You finally got your wish, Joshua Harris. You bought the Washington. You got an NFL team. But it took the Sixers, the Devils, I don't know. I guess you can ask the soccer team there as well. You almost bought the Mets. Again, not saying the Mets are doing well, being a Mets fan, but had Joshua Harris bought that team instead of Stephen Cohen, even though the results are, I swear to you, I hate sports right now. I absolutely hate sports right now. My Giants suck. The Mets suck. The Devils suck. Everything sucks. I have nothing to look forward to other than losing. Nothing to brag about. Got to put away my Mets hat. Got to put away my Devils cap. Oh, you do a podcast, right? Yeah, how are the Devils doing? I don't know. They suck. Michael Rossi said, I was waiting for the Woo to say sell the team. I'm swear to you, I hate everything. I hate everything. I'm going to let it all out. You know, when they had the jersey and all the marketing behind it, like, I think the Devils organization as a whole forgot one little piece of thing that we like. It's called winning. And you build the organization around winning. Winning the Stanley Cup. Putting a winning team out on the ice. Then you could do all that marketing stuff. But if you have a team that doesn't win and you do all that marketing stuff, guess what? You're marketing crap. I wish I could swear right now. Maybe I should. I don't know. But we have a lot of fans that have kids in the car. Not the right thing to do. So I'll try to keep the hits clean. Mark Schwab says, Sam Woo, are you related to John Woo? Mission Impossible 2. And Face Off. Yeah, fifth cousin removed. Let's see here. Jacob says, Fitzgerald was way too smug. Hey, you know what? I'll tell you. I can't wait till Scotty comes on. Yeah, embarrassing, Chris. Yep, embarrassing. Definitely needs a disciplinary coach. Look, I'm all for Bruce Boudreau and Scott Stevens as a tandem to coach. You throw the analytics people out of the room. I'm done with analytics right now because you know this whole team is built on analytics. But look, You don't need numbers to tell me that this team sucks, okay? There's a lot more to it than just numbers. I see these numbers, I read these numbers, and you know what? These numbers don't mean squat, all right? The only numbers that you should be concerned about is in the win and loss and maybe overtime loss column. But I'll tell you, tomorrow at Madison Square Garden, I mean, I'd wear a paper bag on my head going in there because the Rangers are riding high right now. I mean, they did lose their last game against the Penguins, but just embarrassing. Will the Devils have any fight? Will they have any punch? Maybe a little too late. It'd be nice if they beat the Rangers, but what does it matter? You know that they're going to revert to them old selves where they're going to tease you and then you get screwed in the end. Oh, I hate this. The feeling. Max says 8-1 tomorrow night. Which way, Max? But this is embarrassing. Travis Green? When it was 3-3, you probably should have used that timeout to settle things down. You had a 2-goal lead. Suddenly it's 3-3. It might have helped. But hindsight's 2020. Playing Monday morning quarterback, I'm not so sure about that. But just, it was terrible. And the fans that went to the game, you spend all that money, you're emotionally invested in this team, and what did the New Jersey Devils do? They bamboozled you into paying to watch that crap. People pay to see Jack Hughes, right? No, people pay to see you win. Winning is the most important thing right now. And the Devils, I'll reiterate this again. They've gotten all the help from the other teams because it seems like nobody wants that last playoff spot, that wild card spot, going around the league. I haven't seen the scores yet, but let's just go around the league. Obviously, the Devils losing 6-3 to the Penguins. Capitals losing 6-2 to the Sabres. So shockingly, the Devils are what? Are they still 6 points behind? But the Islanders did eventually beat the Blackhawks. Blackhawks actually had a 1-0 lead over the Islanders in the middle of the second period. But you knew that wasn't going to last. But look, credit the Islanders. They're feeling the urgency. Something that this young Devils team doesn't really feel. They just kind of, we got the lead. Yeah, hold my beer. I'm going to relax a little bit, and boom, before you know it, it's over. Survey makes a great point. We've been 6 points out for a wild card for the past 20 games. Yeah, it seems like they're just not moving the needle, the New Jersey Devils. Travis Green, not impressed. I mean, he has been honest. I do like some of the, I do like some of his assessment, but I don't like anything else but that. John M. says, I like negative Sam Woo. He's been positive all year. Well, typically I am a positive guy. I'm a glass half full type of guy, but when it's bad, I will go all in and say the glass has nothing in it. JP says the tank is in full effect. Look, this team doesn't even deserve to be in the playoffs. Even if they do make it. Max says Travis Green says the right things. There's no action behind the words. Like I said, it's like a paper tiger. You know, it looks good. It sounds great. It has promise, but it's not going to go anywhere. It's kind of like a four-cylinder Camaro or Mustang back in the day. You know, they used to have, either you can get a 5.0-liter Mustang or a 5.7-liter Camaro. But they also had came in a four-cylinder. Like, yeah, it looks good, sounds great, but doesn't go anywhere. Anyway, I don't know why I made a car reference. There's no substance with this team. None whatsoever. My buddy Matt says they don't care, period. No, they're going to get paid either way. These long-term contracts, I mean, yeah, I appreciate that Timo Meyer's, making a comeback, earning his pay. Jack Hughes, I think he's overdoing it. Can he pass to anybody else but Luke? And then Jesper Bratt, okay, he has a career high in points. But so what? That penalty that you took, there was a domino effect. And it kept on coming as we watched this team just absolutely collapse. Want to thank all those tuning in, waiting for Scotty, a SiriusXM liquid metal from his Michael J. Fox studios. I'm your host, Sam Woo. This is the Let's Go Devils podcast, Devils After Dark. As we were talking about the Devils' debacle collapse in the third period, I mean, Collect Records, thank you for the super chat. That's to start a LGD Powerball pool. If we win, we collectively buy the team and clean effing house. Love the idea. If you want to send us a super chat, go to our YouTube channel at Let's Go Devils. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. On Facebook at Let's Go Devils Podcast, and on Twitter at Let's Go Devils Pod. And also we can be found on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music Prime, Audible, or wherever you get your Let's Go Devils Podcast, and even the iHeart app as well. So we're waiting for Scotty. Give Kate the GM job. No, do not do that. When I mean fire everybody, and this is not anything against Kate Madigan. No, I want everybody gone. If I buy this team, I would clean house. That's the first thing I would do. And then I would rewrite the business plan of the New Jersey Devils. And it's basically very simple. It's one word. Can you guess what that one word is? Win. That would be the business plan. Win. What are you winning? The Stanley Cup. Well, when are you going to win it? Every year. Why? Because that's what we do. I'm tired of this losing. I'm tired of the false promises, being bamboozled, the bait and switch of this organization. You want my money, my season ticket money, and raise 10, 12, 15%. You want me to upgrade to watch this crap? It's a lot easier watching it at home than in the arena. I'd rather watch it at American Whiskey because, look, American Whiskey, 51 Edison Place, across the street from Prudential Center, next to Championship Plaza, Frank the Tank, Alejandra, and the folks over there. Well, you know what? I'd rather hang out with those folks watching this team just absolutely just screw themselves out of a playoff spot. And if this sounds like kind of a bitching session, well, maybe we should go more of a therapeutic end. maybe that's what we should do. Maybe we should have a therapy session before Scotty comes on. Because I'll tell you, this music, this in the background, is making me feel calm. That maybe Joshua Harris shouldn't sell the team to us if we win the Powerball. No, I think he should, actually. He has no business being an owner of the New Jersey Devils. I mean, you can say a lot of good things that they've done, but at the end of the day, it's about winning. Show me the silver, Joshua. Show me winning. But instead, you got a team that can't hold a lead. You're spent, near to the cap. You have all these long-term contracts. And still, we have the same problems that we had 5 years ago with John Hines. Yes, that John Hines that likes to pull goaltenders in overtime. Oh, can it get any worse than this, folks? Max asks, do you think Nick Villano is going to have a meltdown right now? Full on, lights off, cradling in the corner, sobbing and cursing. Look, I've known Nick Villano for quite some time now. Nick is very analytical in his thinking. He's a very smart guy. Don't agree with him half of the times, but that doesn't mean I don't respect his opinions and analysis. But this loss is universal. Nick and I don't agree on most things, but you know what? The one thing we do agree on, this ain't good. This is terrible. You guys are talking about meltdowns. No, I'm not really melting down. I'm just telling you how it is. And, the franchise took 10 steps forward, got a little greedy, overcharged the fans for everything at that arena and more, and then took 5 steps back. The going gets tough. Survey says, I'm calling tomorrow. We win, but it doesn't matter. No, it really doesn't. What matters is getting into the playoffs. Now, yes, it is a step in the right direction, but you've got to leapfrog quite a few teams in the standings to get that last playoff spot that not any of the teams really want. Pittsburgh Penguins are still winning. They were almost irrelevant a couple weeks ago, but they're coming alive. Last gasp of the Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, and Chris Letang era. Johnny Dang says, is it time to remove the C from he sure? What do you think, Sam? Absolutely. I think everything's on the table at this point. It's nothing against Nico, but look, if I were to buy this team and make changes, I would clean house. I would take the C off of his jersey and put it on the wall, and that stands for clean. Clean the house. Fire everybody. Rehire the ones that you think that could contribute to this organization, but they all have to fit the mold, from the coaching staff to scouting to the analytics people to the marketing people, to the ticket reps, to the janitor, or what. It's all about winning. It doesn't matter who you are in the organization. It's about what? Winning. Winning solves everything. That's what will solve my problems tonight. That will solve your problems tonight. It will solve a lot of problems tonight if the Devils were winning and getting 2 solid points. Winning is fun. Winning brings dollars. So why aren't we winning? because we're not doing what it takes to win the game. And it's disheartening. Valles Green in the post-game interview is probably, Pens are a good team and want to win. It's like a learning process for us. You know what? I'm done with rebuilding. I'm done with the excuses. I want players to hold held accountable. Look, I want Jesper Bratt traded out of New Jersey. But if you're going to trade Jesper Bratt, you better get somebody good. I want Brady Tkachuk right now to start. I want some beef. I want some American beef, and I want it in New Jersey right now. We need fight in this team. We need an attitude. We want a swagger. We want to dictate what goes out on the ice. We want the fans to be engaged and be the seventh skater out there at the Rock. And why Davey makes a great point. Palat's winning pedigree has not helped since he got here at $6 million per year is a disaster. The only thing Palat did so far that's notable that I like is his pass to Michael McLeod, Game 7 against the New York Rangers, which now feels like it's eon ago. Put him on the block. Everybody's on the block. Get them to waive their no trade clauses or whatever, no movement clauses or whatever. Or am I overreacting? Let me know. But again, we've watched this team sink like the Titanic, and it's going to go down and down and down the Metropolitan Division, and then they're going to be in the lottery for the NHL draft, and hopefully they can get a high pick. A high pick like they did for Shimon Nemitz. And just maybe, they can figure it out. But I'll tell you, it is bad. I think a lot of us expected better, at least the playoffs. But please don't embarrass yourselves the rest of the way. You've done it already. But the NHL draft is coming soon. And it's going to be at the Sphere in Vegas. And I can see it now. Tom Fitzgerald, if he's still around, walks up to the podium. I'd like to thank the city of Las Vegas for their hospitality and their generosity. The New Jersey Devils select blah, 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 blah. And it'll be a high pick. But even that is not going to solve the Devils' problems. Because I'll tell you, there's a team culture here. And history keeps on repeating itself. I see no way they can get back on track anytime soon, or at least this season. But if they continue to do what they do, if next season it starts out like this, where they're losing games, like the last two games, I think Tom Fitzgerald will be on the hot seat, and we might see some changes if it gets that bad. You got to win. You have to win. That's your only option right now. You went all in when you put a big contract, fat contracts out on the table for Jesper Bratt, Timo Meier, and before that, Dougie Hamilton. You've committed a lot of money to fill up that cap space with Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier. You got to go find a 1A goaltender. You got to repair the defense. I know the team is young on the blue line, but you got to figure it out. Max asks, does anyone feel cheated out of the money for all the games that we paid to see this year? Absolutely. Except for the Stadium Series game. That was the pinnacle of the season. It gave us hope. That Stadium Series game. It was awesome. It was so much fun. It was such a good time. The Ant Crew Brew was flowing. JoinOurCrew.com for the latest of our live event appearances of this podcast called the Let's Go Devils Podcast. But man, I feel like I was betrayed. I feel like the team betrayed us tonight. We thought we had it. Bill Spaulding was already talking about possibilities of being only 2 points behind. Not going to happen. You may get the help, but guess what? You got to help yourself first before you expect other teams to help you in the standings. You got to win. It goes back to winning. And that should be the mission statement. That should be the focus for your New Jersey Devils. Just want to see where Scotty's at right now. Because I know Scotty is really sad. I know Scotty is sad. He's not happy right now. Absolutely not. He is not happy right now. Insane Paul says, Sky's getting all the cussing out of the way before coming on air. Hey, I had to bulldog it without my wingman to come on air and tell you how it is. This is personal. This team is not very good. I cheer for an organization that raises prices and expects us to, like, what I'm talking about is like some of the email blasts that they have. Well, we still got Jesper Bratt. We've committed to Timo Meier. You know, and you've got 15 days to renew with us, and that's the deadline. And they keep on extending the deadline every 15 days. But we're not falling for it anymore. You got to start winning. I don't care if you got Connor McDavid. If you got Connor McDavid, but you're not winning, you missed a point. Will Ross is a Kansas fan here. Damn glad I didn't waste my money on plane tickets to see my first Devils game at the Rock this season. Will, there will be a time where you should invest in, well, besides buying Doge, but invest in some time and tickets and all that and come to American Whiskey to see the Let's Go Devils podcast. That's worth the price of admission. Try some Ant Crew Brew, 21 or older. Please, and then and go to the game. Experience it. LB says, a shame how the Devils perform with good crowds this year. Pulp Mixstick says, was getting emails as recently as a few days ago saying the Devils still had a fight in them. What team have you been watching? I question the Devils marketing team. But yeah, it is not good. It is depressing. You have nothing to brag about. And you know what's the worst thing of it all? There's a possibility that the Islanders, Flyers, and Rangers are all in the playoffs, and you're the Devils fan at the water cooler at work that has nothing to say when the playoffs come about. Dubs is like, fire the marketing team too. Look, a lot of things they do is not my cup of tea. Some of the things they do is my cup of tea. But right now, I would tell the I'll tell the marketing team, shh. And why don't you hold back your ammunition right now? We got to rebuild this team. Shh. But yeah, poor Scotty. Poor Scotty. Just want to get his reaction. But, yeah, not good. Not good at all. And that's all I have to say. Want to thank all those tuning in to Devils After Dark. Going to check up on Scotty to make sure he's okay, that everything is good. But sleep on it, folks. Sleep on it. Maybe the Devils will win tomorrow. Maybe they'll give us something to talk about. But right now, there's nothing to talk about. Just win. Just win. Just win. But I got bad news for everybody. They're not making the playoffs. Robert Isaacson said, after a 25-year run, I was willing to be patient while the team found its footing again. Now, this is ridiculous, especially with the Rangers back to where they are. Yes, that's rubbing salt in the wounds. But just remember, Peter Laviolette has a shelf life of about 3-4 years before they start tuning out. Hopefully they'll make it to the promised land. It's going to be torturous. That if the Rangers and Flyers and Islanders are in the playoffs, Joshua Harris, you've got explaining to do. David Blitzer, you have explaining to do, because I want to hold everybody accountable. It's not funny. There's nothing funny about this. Yeah, so I'm going to be dropping the podcast at midnight. I want to thank all those tuning in. Really appreciate having the conversation with you. You can also listen on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music Prime. But maybe we should have a therapy session tomorrow. It might happen. It actually might happen. I think we just old yellered ourselves out of the playoffs before he even began. Just terrible. Just terrible. Hitting the music. Maybe we'll win. I don't know. We'll be back. Game Day Live and Devils After Dark. Short Sky out in the UK right now will be joining us for Game Day Live with Vinny Parisi out in Chicago. And also Devils After Dark after the game, after the Devils take on the New York Rangers. State of the Fan Address has been postponed. We'll let you know when we'll be back with Nick Villano at pucksandpitchforks.com. I'm sure he will give us great analysis and opinions. Devils losing 6-3 to the Penguins. Try to get some sleep. Till next time, let's go Devils.